Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. That's right. Here in the United States, it's Thanksgiving Day. And if you're unfamiliar with what that means, it basically is a holiday where we take time out from our normal daily lives to give thanks for the things that we're grateful for. And this year, believe it or not, I'm really thankful for Pokemon glitches. They're really cool and they can be a ton of fun, and they can also give you access to characters that you normally wouldn't be able to get. So, for our Thanksgiving feast here at Bridge 4 Games today, we are going to be covering all of the known glitches in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl because there are a ton of them, and we want to bring all of that information to you, all of our wonderful viewers that we are also extremely thankful for. So, let's dig in. Hello everybody, Blaine here for Bridge 4 Games. Happy Thanksgiving and welcome to our Thanksgiving special here on the channel. Today we are going to cover an absolute buffet of glitches from Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. There are a ton in that game and we are going to cover pretty much all of them right now. The only ones we're not going to cover are any of the really small ones that not too many people are going to be interested in, where there's like little audio hiccups or a character may like glitch out for a second. Those we're not going to cover, but the rest of them we are absolutely going to cover, the real cream of the crop glitches, and we're going to cover all of those right now. Now, please keep in mind, these glitches do have the capability of crashing your system sometimes, so please make sure that you are properly saving, backing up all of your information, and just generally being careful when you're trying to implement these, because we don't want anybody losing any progress or having any damage come to any of their products because of these glitches. Now, obviously, that's incredibly low, but we just want to let you guys know that is a theoretical possibility. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and dive right in. But before we do, I just want to take a second to ask that if you like the videos we have here on the channel, please make sure that you actually like them by hitting the thumbs up button. And of course, consider subscribing to the channel to make sure that you never miss any of the awesome episodes like these, and to make sure that you become part of our amazing, incredible Pokemon community. All right, everybody, that being said, let's take a look at some glitches. So this is our itinerary. Obviously, there's a lot here, so let's just go ahead and start talking about them. So obviously, the one everybody wants to know, the one that everybody's super excited about, is cloning. We have 3 methods of cloning Pokemon in this game, all the way from kind of the, least effective all the way up to the most effective and the easiest to pull off. So let's go ahead and talk about these. So method 1 is the trade interrupt glitch. So if you go into the Union Room and interact with another player and you set up a link trade, what's going to happen is, as you trade, when you get the screen here that says communicating, please stand by, the person who wants to clone their Pokemon needs to either, if they have a wireless or a wired dock connection on their Switch, they need to pull their Switch out of their dock, terminating their internet right away. Alternatively, if you are on Wi-Fi, you can flick over to your airplane mode and turn that on to sever your connection. Now, one thing that does not work, I tried to time it where I could unplug my router to have my internet get killed that way. That doesn't work for whatever reason. I think it was too long of a delay between the things, so that unfortunately is not a viable strategy, but turning off your internet the other 2 ways is. The reason you want to turn off your internet is because when you do, the person who disconnects is going to keep their Pokemon, but if you do it on this screen, the other individual who you're trading with is going to get that Pokemon as well. So now you have 2 copies of one Pokemon, but the Pokemon that was traded to you is going to be kind of just deleted. So obviously you do have to keep in mind that a Pokemon is going to be sacrificed in the process. So obviously this is not the most practical method because there's incredible amounts of timing involved, and you do have a 1 hour cooldown period after the trade is completed, or rather the glitch happens, because I think that's just a safety feature built into BDSP. Originally it was reported that it was 24 hours, but now I've been hearing that it's 1 hour, so that's certainly better. But the one cool thing you can see, like when you trade a Pokemon away, you can have kind of like both. So like if you have an Alakazam, for example, you can have an Alakazam and a Kadabra be almost identical, but one is evolved because it was traded. So that's kind of neat. But again, if you want a real Legion of Pokemon, that's not really the best method, because on top of the cooldown, they also have to trade you your Pokemon back, which is just like another step. So anyways, on top of that, it's neat, but it's not the best way to do it, in my opinion. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at clone method number 2, and we're actually going to have Tom explain this one to you because he did an excellent tutorial, which we're going to take a look at right now.
Come to the nursery, then you're going to go into your boxes. You are going to, essentially what we are going to do is we are actually going to clone this Infernape, and we are going to delete this Bidoof in the process. So first things first, we have to put 2 Pokemon in the bottom right hand corner. In this case, it's just Bidoof and Geodude. What we're going to do is actually put Geodude then into our battle box. So Geodude in box 4 is now in our battle box. Now what we're going to do is talk to the Pokemon Nursery lady. Going to ask us who we want to take care of. Honestly, this is the piece that it took me a few minutes to try and figure out. But you are going to hit A and select Badoo. Then you're actually going to hit A on box list. You're going to press Y, which is going to select this. And then you're going to go over to box 4 and you're going to press Y again. So that switched box 3 and box 4. Now, if you just go one left over, now you see that Geodude is both in the battle box and selected. And that's important because otherwise a Pokemon that is in your battle party is not able to be selected. So now you're just going to hit B. Are you done? Yes, you are. Yes, we will leave you for $500. Now we're just going to go back into our Pokemon box and we are going to double over, and now we actually see that there is this glitch sign over here. Now we are actually going to drop in the Bidoof that we would like to delete, and then we are going to select the Infernape that we would like to clone. Now we're going to go to the Infernape, and this is incredibly important. We are going to go to the summary. Once you go to the summary, you exit that screen, and now we have 2 Infernapes.
All right, so there you have it. That's how you can use the daycare, or the nursery, I think they call it in this one, to get your Pokemon to be cloned. Now, if you don't want to go that route, don't worry, because there is another option for you, and you can actually clone your Pokemon pretty much anywhere through this method, the third method, which is also going to be the fastest method, which we're going to cover now. All right, everybody, so for this glitch here, we're going to be doing another cloning method. This is the third method here, which is currently believed to be the fastest. So what you need to do is basically go to your Pokemon, and you need to have the Pokemon you want to clone up here, and then basically your sacrificial Pokemon here who's going to become your new clone Pokemon. So as we can see, my Dialga is holding a Master Ball. It's because we also want to clone that and get multiples there. So first thing we're going to do is go to Summary. All right, and now once we're on the summary screen here for the Dialga, we need to hit ZL, ZR, and A all at the same time. Now, the game is going to go a little buggy, and you want to hit B and get out of this. And now we need to get back to the main overworld screen. So as you can see here, I am hitting B a couple times, but now that we're in the overworld, we have the overworld and the map set up. So what we are going to be doing now is needing to get into a battle here with a wild Pokemon. So I'm going to run in the grass, and we found something here. So it looks like we're going to be encountering a Gastrodon. Okay, that doesn't really matter. It doesn't really have much to do with what we're doing here. So what we need to do is, you can see that we can both control the overworld map as well as the sort of in-game, battle map on the right-hand side there. So what we're going to do, go into Pokemon here, and we're going to just go ahead and go to your boxes. And then once we're here, we're going to put Dialga into our box, and then just exit out. And then we need to get back into the battle. And now that we're here, we're just going to go ahead and... Oh, we apparently attacked while we were doing that. So, all right, he's going to attack us. All right, cool. And now we just need to run from the battle. Whoop, no, we need to run. All right, there we go. And now, assuming everything worked fine, which I believe it would have, we now have a Dialga in the box and a Dialga here in our team. So yeah, the way this really works is once you encounter that wild Pokemon and you put your Pokemon in the box, the game is going to think that you have both the Pokemon leading your party as well as that Pokemon in your box still. So the last Pokemon that's remaining, so the one that's going to be at the bottom of your team, is going to get overridden by the Pokemon that goes into the box. And this is a method you can use over and over again to get several different Pokemon. We're actually just going to go ahead and do it one more time just to show you how easy it is. I think we're going to go ahead and actually sacrifice this Buizel because Mike loves Buizel, and I just want to troll him a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and do this again. So we just go over here. I'm going to do it live right here now. Pull up the menu and go to the Pokemon icon. We do need to go to the selection screen on Dialga. That's incredibly important. And then again, ZL, ZR, and A, and boom. All right, so now we're in the screen. Just start hitting B. We just want to get out of this as best we can. Okay, cool. So, no, that did not take that time. Let me go ahead and do it one more time here. All right, so Dialga, check summary, ZL, ZR, boom. Okay, so now we should be... There we go. We have the doubling. Okay, now we are in the overworld here again with the map open. So, yeah, I have not beaten the Sunny Shore Gym Leader yet. I've been too focused on making content, so here we go. Now we're just going to go ahead and run back and forth until we get an encounter. And this shouldn't take too long. I mean, you know, there are a lot of Pokemon in this area, so it may take a minute here, so just bear with us. Alright, we encountered a Wingull, which is perfectly fine. You know, obviously it doesn't really have a lot of bearing on what we're doing here. So, again, go to your Pokemon selection screen. And we're going to go ahead and put Dialga... Oh, not check, we need to go to the boxes, excuse me. And we're going to put Dialga right in the box again. So, move him down here. As you can see, there's some stuff going on in that battle there. And then, basically, we need to just get out of this. Oh, we ended up killing the other Pokemon. Alright. I don't think that matters too much, because now we can just close the menu. And, you know, a lot of what goes on in the background isn't as important, because we have our Dialga now here in our party. And ironically, that... So I've never actually had that happen before, but the Weasel there actually gained experience while we were in the middle of cloning this Dialga. So I guess it didn't really have any effect on it, because if we check the summary, we can see that, yeah, everything is pretty much the same as how it was, so I don't really see any, you know, issue there. But now, as you can see, I'm going to just put the this Chatot in my party real quick. So now we have 3 identical Dialgas, all with effectively everything the same, including that held Master Ball. Now, you can do this with any Pokemon you want. I just picked Dialga because it looks cool, if I'm being perfectly honest. As you can see, Bridge 4, again, our number here, let's see, 902496, they are all the same. They do have different experience. The one that was in the battle and actually finished the battle got a little more experience than the other ones. That's interesting. That's a cool little trick. That seems hard to pull off, but, you know, it's kind of neat. But everything else, again, you know, all the same here. So that is how you can use this fastest method to clone as many Pokemon as you want. And now I also have 3 Master Balls that I can use for all those Pokemon in the post-game. So there we go, everybody. That is the 3rd and fastest method. Alright, so that's how you're going to go ahead and clone your Pokemon in BDSP. But what other glitches can we pull off? What other sort of things can we accomplish, you know, other than just copying and, you know, getting new items and things like that? Well, turns out there's a lot of different things we can do, and we're going to cover those now. Now, one of the interesting things that returned, so obviously people were excited when they saw cloning was back from Diamond and Pearl to BDSP, but another glitch came along with it, which is the surfing glitch. So if you guys are unfamiliar with what that is, back in Diamond and Pearl, if you were in the Elite Four, you could actually surf against one of the doors, and you could actually surf on land and go through like barriers and things like that. Well, that has returned in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. So as we can see here, as you approach the Elite Four, if you speak to this trainer and really mash A with the right timing, you can start to surf on land, and then lo and behold, you can actually surf out of areas where there normally would be a boundary for you. And as we see here, because the game isn't checking those, it doesn't really have a lot of the other things programmed, so you can walk on water or start surfing again, as you will. And in a second, we're going to see that this person actually decides to do some biking on their water too. So the reason you would want to do this, aside from just generally exploring, because the way the game is designed and coded, one of the things we can actually get is a specific little mythical Pokemon that is going to be making an appearance in a future mystery gift or event. So as you go into the water here and travel across the ocean here, or lake, whatever the body of water is, we can see that after about a couple seconds we arrive at the Flower Paradise here. And who is that Pokemon up there? Shaymin. So using this glitch, you can actually get yourselves a Shaymin right now for almost no effort whatsoever, which is kind of incredible. And then obviously you encounter Shaymin and everything is cool. Now this is the one that you really need to be careful with, though, because we don't know what receiving the event in your game will do if you've already caught the Shaymin. I assume you'll get the card and then the Shaymin's just not there, but nobody really knows. This is the one that people are being a little, let's say, careful about, just because we don't really know what's going to happen. But, that being said, if you do want to get a Shaymin, no muss, no fuss right now, that is how you can do it, pretty easily. Now, you can also go ahead and use the surfing glitch to, like, go to different parts of the game that you don't have access to yet. So you can access, like, the post-game areas before you've actually gone there. Let's think. You can also, skip around, again, borders where you're not allowed to go yet. So there's a lot of applications for this that are very, very interesting. But obviously, everybody's excited about getting Shaymin because it's a mythical. So that's not the only glitch returning from Diamond and Pearl, though. There's also the return of the Void glitch. Now, if y'all don't know what that is, back again with that surfing glitch, you were able to surf into the areas of the game that are not actually programmed. So, as you can see here, it's a big black space. So, this is basically the unfinished areas where they don't put anything because they don't need to. You're never meant to actually see this, so there's no real need to have anything there. It's just kind of the space in between the overworld places. And using this glitch of going to this route and kind of circling back and forth on your bike, eventually you'll pop into the trees and then boom, you can go right into the void, check it all out. It's really, really cool, just given the sheer amount of freedom you have, because you can go pretty much wherever the heck you want to go. That being said, it's very easy to get lost in there, so please be careful if you do ever want to try this. And then on top of that, the other kind of hiccup that you can run into, if you go somewhere else, I don't know if you're able to, like, get off your bike and then walk around or whatever. You may have to reset your game. But again, just keep in mind, it's something to have fun with and try out if you want to. And just make sure you don't get lost, because you don't want to end up in the void for the rest of your, life there in the game. So that being said, obviously it seems like there are some, benefits to using some of these glitches. So what other kind of, perks, what other kind of things can you get by using these? Well, let's take a look at some of the beneficial ones. So first off, kind of the more interesting one is the discovery that the Sinnoh League is kind of on the honor system here. Now, what am I talking about? Well, big thanks to Pulse Effects for finding this out. It turns out you don't need badges to go and fight the Elite Four. Now, here's the Elite Four badge checker. He's, checking off the badges, so Orberg, Eterna, Veilstone, Pastoria. However, if we pay attention there, he did not have his SNOWPOINT badge, and they let him in anyways. And obviously he's very excited because he just got into the Elite Four here and found this glitch. So the games do not have an actual badge checker. They just have the block attacks, they fire off, and they let you in. See, he didn't have the badge right there. So as strange as this is, the games do not actually check what badges you have before they let you in. So I don't know why they did this. I have to assume that Ilka just kind of figured everybody was going to get the badges anyways, but it seems like a very easy thing to not include. I don't know why they chose not to, but who knows? All right. Now, on top of that, that lets you skip something kind of later in the game. Let's look at something you can skip right away. So this is the, as I've called it, the knockaway Barry glitch. So with the way the characters follow you, Barry will actually try and follow you, and then you can swap places with him, and he'll end up on the ledge. Then if you go to walk towards him, you can end up on the ledge and trap Barry below it. So he's still stuck down there, and you can go in the grass, you can go exploring. He's not going to force you to go to the lake. Now, obviously, you still have to go there to get your Pokemon, but you can kind of go explore without a Pokemon, because you have passed this sort of blockade that is laid out here, which is a lot of fun. So that being said, there's some other things you can skip too. Now, we talked about the SNOWPOINT gym. You don't need the badge anyways, but if you do want to get the badge and you don't want to have to fight all the NPCs, try this method. So somebody discovered this. Normally, you can't get right to the leader. You have to actually do the puzzle. However, you can get to the other tier right below her by just going from the front gate right across and right up there. But then you can potentially glitch yourself onto Candace's area by using this glitch of kind of being on an angle, and eventually you can end up popping up there like we see him do, I think, right now. There we go. And yeah, he somehow ends up there, which is just pretty crazy in my opinion here. So that being said, for speedrunners, this is a huge deal because they can just cut the whole gym out and just go and face them. So obviously, this is really, really cool and something to keep in mind that is an option for you. Now, we've already talked about skipping things like gyms and, barriers. What if you could just skip whole, requirements? So this dude here is going to block you from going to Sunny Shore City until you have your 7th badge, I believe. But here, we find out that if you hatch an egg on the exact same tile that he tries to stop you while you're on a bike, I know these are a lot of requirements, just bear with me. Once that hatches, we hatched a happening here, as you can see. So obviously this player, I don't believe, nicknames them. And then once this is all done and everything resolves, watch this. This is where it gets really crazy. We go right through. So even though we would have been stopped, by that NPC who would not have allowed us to go through, hatching that happening let us go right through, so we can skip the entire requirement and go right to Sunny Shore City. Now, these are all pretty good, but by far the most abusable one and most powerful one is the glitch that lets you skip any battle in the entire game. Now, this is actually kind of a riff on the glitch that we saw with the third method of cloning our Pokemon. So you need to do the same button sequence there, the ZL, ZR, and the A, and then what you do is you go into the screen and you set up the same kind of menu save thing that we had before. But now he's going to go ahead and challenge Cynthia. Now, check this out. This is pretty interesting. He's battling Cynthia in the Pokedex, so I don't think he wants any button presses or something. But as we can see, Cynthia is, doing her line here. And as we see when it flickers like that, the battle has started. I think there's one more, which means the battle's actually battling. Okay. Now he's going to go out, and he's going to be in battle with Cynthia, but his menu is still open. Now he's saving. Now, obviously, the game can't save in the middle of a battle, so when you are able to save, the game thinks that you have passed Cynthia, so basically the game is going to award you having beaten Cynthia. Now, he's going to close and reset his game here, and he's going to go back in. Now, when he does, look at that. Cynthia's just chilling there, because we just beat Cynthia, and he only has 6 badges. So, not only was he able to get into the Elite Four with only 6 badges, he just beat Cynthia, and he was able to go right on and become champion. Now, this method is basically, you can use this method for any battle that's in the entire game. So you don't want to deal with, Team Galactic stuff, you don't have to. You don't want to deal with any badges or any, gym leaders, you don't have to. I don't know how that works with getting the badge, if you were awarded the badge for doing this, but it's just very interesting that you can decide just to not battle anybody you don't want to. It's really a very unusual kind of concept for Pokemon, and it's a very interesting thing to see. So these are all the ways you can use these glitches to really kind of get ahead and get some unique kind of benefits in the game, but it's not all, fun and roses. We do have some little bit of drawbacks here, because there are some of these glitches that are actually potentially game-breaking in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. So we're going to go ahead and take a look. So first off, right off the bat, the VEILSTONE NPC is a problem here. So as we can see in VEILSTONE City, there is an NPC here who, if you go near them, you can actually end up behind them, and then you can get stuck there permanently and you can't leave. So basically, you would have to close your game and reset to get out of this sort of trap. And unfortunately, if you haven't saved in a while, that could be a really big problem. And just to let you guys know, I strongly recommend that you turn off your autosave and save manually, because at this point, this way you'll know exactly where you need to be or where you're able to go back to, and you can manually make sure you have your progress saved. Now, on top of that, we do know we can do all these tricks in SNOWPOINT Gym. There's a problem there too, and you can end up with this snowball configuration where when you fall, you're supposed to have enough inertia to break that snowball, but you might not. And then you get stuck here. You're basically soft locked. You can't leave. And there's no real option for being able to leave. There's also a thing that can happen if the snowballs are arranged in 2 lines like this and the middle's clear. That's another one where you can get stuck as well, because you can't develop the speed to go up. So these are really kind of big problems. I don't really know how, Pokemon, or how it ended up this way, but, I have to imagine that it's just, some kind of frame glitch where they don't think you had enough speed to break the ball. But keep in mind, please save before you go into the gym, because you don't want to end up with this situation on your hands where you're standing the option of either losing a lot of progress or just being trapped here forever. So make sure you save before you go in, and when you approach the snowball pit here, be careful, please. All right, that being said, I know, and we're going to move on to the next one here, but I know a lot of you guys, when they do all the attacks, you like to button mash. That's fine. You need to be careful with your button mashing in this game, because it can end up being a real big problem. So here's why. If you button mash a single button, like the ZL, ZR, A, whatever, to advance things, fine. That's no problem. If you're smashing them in all 3, we know that those 3 buttons together cause problems. And here, the guy mashed all the buttons together to get things to go, and it crashed the game. no inputs were allowed anymore, so he had to reset his entire game to be able to continue playing. So if you're going to button mash, you want to just get through that dialogue, which I don't blame you, hit one of the three, not all three of them, please. We don't want any problems. And last but not least, we have the honey glitch. Now, if you use honey to try and attract a Pokemon, it's a cool feature, and you can do honey trees, but if you just use honey to try and attract it, and it pulls a roaming legendary, excuse me, what do you think happens? Well, we're going to find out. Your game crashes. Apparently, there's some issue with, the Pokemon just showing up from being a roaming Pokemon and being attracted by the honey, that it's just incompatible and the game is going to crash because it doesn't know what to do. So there's no real way to prevent this or to avoid it. And I'm not going to tell you guys not to use honey in the game, but basically just keep in mind this can happen. So save often, save frequently after big things, and make sure that you have your game backed up in case this does happen to you. Now, all right, it's a lot of doom and gloom we talked about. I know people are going to be kind of freaked out. Let's end here with some really funny, kind of neat glitches that you may encounter. So apparently there's a glitch that's in the game where you can have the wrong exclusives. So this person here is playing Brilliant Diamond, as we see, but they're in the Sky Pillar, and we see Dialga. So I don't know how that's possible. We do know that the games are basically identical, and there's basically a switch that goes back and forth to toggle like the in-game things that are unique. That being said, it's really odd that this would happen. I don't know how this could have happened, but I mean, the person has the Dialga. I mean, I can't tell you to avoid this because there's no way you can. And I mean, this doesn't really cause any problems. You just have basically a Brilliant Diamond game inside of your Shining Pearl game. So it's neat. I probably wouldn't want that to happen myself, but I guess it's something to be aware of that's out there, because this could happen to you, I suppose. And last but not least, the funniest one here. So if your Pokemon, if your opponent has a Pokemon that goes away through like dig or fly or something, the game still wants them to use an animation to attack you. So how do we do that? Well, apparently, if you run into a situation where those Pokemon are gone, the NPC is going to actually just attack your Pokemon. So we don't really know why or how this is programmed, but that black belt is kicking the Infernape with apparently a very, very long, go-go gadget leg. So I don't really know what to make of this. I think it's very interesting. I mean, this causes no problems to your game whatsoever, but it's kind of a unique and interesting thing to see because I've never really seen a glitch quite like that. So I don't know. It's interesting, just something interesting to think about, but I hope that you find that interesting and have a nice little smile on your face as we sort of, close off the list of glitches that we have here. So, all right, so there you have it, everybody. That is all the glitches in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. There are a ton of them that can be used for a myriad of different effects. You can call in your Pokemon, get anything you really want, skip entire portions. It's pretty crazy that they allowed this many glitches in the games. Now, I want to weigh in on this because a lot of people think Ilka just had no idea what they were doing. I don't think that's the case. I think perhaps they didn't know that people would explore this game in such detail that things like this could be found. I also think because it wasn't Game Freak, it was Ilka designing these, they maybe just didn't really consider, they didn't know what to look out for because they probably didn't work on many Pokemon games prior. So I don't think it's a lack of quality or a lack of knowledge, but I think it is. They didn't expect this to be a problem, so it's kind of biting them in the rear end because it is. That being said, I do expect potentially these games to be patched and to have some, if not all, of these glitches fixed. Definitely the one probably in the SNOWPOINT gym because that's been pretty well covered. So just keep in mind, if you want to use these, it may not, be around forever. So definitely get your value out of these while you can. And, obviously, have fun out there, but be safe. Again, make sure you save your games, back them up frequently, and just make sure you have everything protected in case you do need to restart your games because that can happen. So that being said, everybody, I've been Blaine for Bridge4 Games. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it interesting and are able to use these glitches to have a really good time. And again, everybody, I hope you all have a happy and wonderful Thanksgiving. And again, if you like this video, please make sure that you absolutely impact that like button and consider subscribing to the channel to become part of our amazing, amazing Pokemon community, and also to make sure that you never miss any of the awesome videos like this one. I hope each and every one of you had an awesome, epic, and amazing holiday, and I will see you in the next episode. See you around. Bye-bye.